Thanks, Matt. Welcome everybody to our video webinar about our interface device product line. My name is Brant Kasbaum, sales engineer here at ACI, and we'll be going through a few of the most common interface devices in our product line. And just as a reminder, we will be recording this webinar, so if you have to leave early or aren't able to view it in its entirety live, it will be archived on our website, and you'll get an email sometime tomorrow with a link to that. This product line, our interface devices, is a pretty unique product line that not a lot of people know about, and it simply is designed to convert one type of control signal to another. So when we start talking about this product line, I point people's attention to the matrix that we have on our website, where you can find what type of signals we can work with and what type of signals you can get as an output. So we have this up on our website where you simply use your signal on the left-hand side column and the signal that you need across the top. So for example, if you've got a pneumatic signal and you want to interface that with an analog input back to your BMS system. So you would go right from here, a pressure signal, and then analog input, and that's the PTP device. So there's about 60 different products in this line that can convert varied types of signals to varied other types of signals. And we'll go through and highlight some of the most common ones and some of the applications that you can use that can help you to save money by not having to replace existing equipment and in turn save labor as well. And also you can save money by not having to expand your inputs on your BMS system. Some of the most common devices in this series are the ARM boards. These are analog rescaling modules. This takes one type of analog signal and converts it to another type of signal. So you can convert a 4 to 20 to a 0 to 10, or you can make a direct acting signal reverse acting. You can take a 4 to 20 and make it 20 to 4. You can use it to limit a signal, and you can take a 0 to 10 signal and convert it to 4 to 10 or 5 to 10. So it's the possibilities, there's no limit to the number of applications that you can use with this type of device. The ARM2 that you see over on the right-hand side of the screen, that takes one analog signal that's selectable on the input, and it converts it into two proportional 4 to 20 milliamp outputs. So if you've got multiple devices that you want to control, or multiple systems that you want from one analog signal, the ARM2 can split that signal into two equal and proportionate signals. These devices, the AIM series, these are opto-isolators, so they take an analog signal and optically isolate it. The AIM1 does that on a one-to-one basis, where the AIM2 combines the optical isolation feature with the rescaling feature of the ARM devices that we talked about a second ago. So the AIM2 can convert as well as isolate an analog signal. The pneumatic devices that we have, like the PXP and the EPC, these take an analog input and convert it to a pneumatic output. So you can interface with existing pneumatic equipment that you would have in the field. And so the differences between the EPC and the PXP is that the EPC that you see on the left-hand side of the screen here, that has more selectability features. You can select both the input signal and the output signal, whereas the PXP has a fixed output of 3 to 15 pounds, but it's got a adjustable or a selectable input side. Now the one that you see on the screen, both of the ones that you see on the screen is the dual gauge, or the dual valve, I should say. And so these devices are what we typically recommend because they will hold the line pressure until a signal change is required. There's others that we have in this series that are single valve, and so they'll have a constant bleed of air, and the orifice size you can select. There's different sizes, so the bleed of air will be faster or slower depending on that size. We typically recommend the dual valve because you don't get the hissing sound from these devices, and it also is going to put less strain on your compressors because you're not constantly bleeding air. Moving on to some of the other common interface boards are the PTA boards. These are a pulse width modulating input to an analog output. And there's selectability options as well, and there's several different versions and timing ranges that are available with the PTA, both PTA and PTA2. The ATL and the AARs are analog inputs to relay outputs. So these devices allow you to add set points. You can stage a single analog signal to multiple relay outputs. The ATL that you see on the left has 4 relays that can be staged, and they are lower contact ratings. The AAR has 2 relays on board. They're higher contact ratings, so they can be used to control or drive some larger devices. The AAR gives you also the ability to daisy chain multiple of these devices together. So if you want to stage more than 2 devices with the AAR, you can string multiple together using only one power supply and daisy chain multiple of these units together. The 6N1-ISO is a pretty unique device here that it can take up to 6 analog or digital inputs, and it can add them all together, subtract the difference between any of them. It can average any of them or get you the highest or lowest of any of the outputs as one single analog signal. So you can have multiple inputs come to this device, and you can isolate the highest or the average. So you can average temperature sensor or temperature readings between multiple rooms, or you can output a signal based on the highest reading, or trip a fan based on the highest reading or the lowest reading. So this is a simple device that allows a number of different control options from 1 analog or up to 6 analog inputs and 1 analog output. The DRN series are an analog input to a resistive output. The DRN4 that you see on the right-hand side is the small compact motor mount that is a fixed 0 to 135 ohm output. The DRN3 is varied resistive output that is user selectable, or not, shouldn't say selectable, it's configurable. We can select or we can choose what output or resistive output that you need. There's no limit to the number of resistance networks and outputs that you can go with the DRN3. The AUD is a floating point to analog converter. So that takes a floating point timing input, and there's numerous timing ranges and options available, and gets you a single analog output signal back to your BMS device. We're going to move on and talk about a few accessory items that work, that also not a lot of people know about, that can work in conjunction with our interface device line, but as well as with our full product line in addition. We have 2 different power supplies. These are regulated DC power supplies. The LPR that you see on the left here can output up to 1 amp, and the PS 1.5 that you see on the right-hand side can output up to 1.5 amps. These are very small, low-cost, very stable regulated DC power supply devices. We have small enclosed relays, both the PAM and the RIC series, and these are low-cost enclosed relays that can fit right inside motors or starters, or they can fit right into a junction box as well. Very low cost, very reliable enclosed relays. Our FreeStats are a very common accessory item, and they've been growing in popularity in recent years as well. They're available in 3 different capillary lengths, 6, 10, and 20 feet. They have both manual or automatic reset, and with either 1 or 2 sets of single pole double throw relays. And so they are an alcohol-filled capillary designed to trip the set point, or trip the relay at the set point you choose at any time the temperature drops below the set point over a 1-foot section of the capillary. A very reliable and cost-effective solution for your low-limit freeze protection applications. We also have been seeing more and more customers in the controls business move into smoke detection and fire prevention, and as such, we've been providing these duct-mounted smoke detectors for several years now. They're very competitive, a very reliable smoke detector, available both in photoelectric and ionization heads that are replaceable, and they meet all of the current fire safety codes and building codes, and they're a very cost-effective solution for duct smoke detection. Last, we'll conclude this presentation here before we move into the Q&A session by talking about how these products are made in the USA. We purchased this interface device product line back in 2011. We had sold it and been familiar with it for numerous years prior to that. And when we bought this product line, we actually moved the production from overseas back to our factory here in Wisconsin. It's something that we're proud of. You know, we control the entire manufacturing process. And there's a short video here that you can see our guys building and testing these devices. So it's something that we're very proud of. We've moved this manufacturing back to our facility, which not only has resulted in a significant increase in quality, but it's given us more flexibility to do custom options to meet your needs for these products. With that said, that will conclude this part, or the presentation part of the webinar. We'll move into the Q&A. So please add your questions now to the bottom of the screen, and we will go through those as they are. Thanks. First question is, are enclosures or mounting kits available for these? Yes, a lot of these are the same size, and we do have an enclosure that will fit this most common size of the boards. There are some of the boards like the 6N1 that are a little bigger than the other ones, and so we do not have an enclosure for this one, but the majority of the interface devices do have an enclosure that will fit. And if you look at the data sheets for these devices that are available on our website, if it does fit in the enclosure, the part number for the enclosure is ENC1, and that's listed as an accessory or an option with on each of the data sheets. All of these devices are shipped with SnapTrack, and there is a DIN rail kit that is available for that would connect to the back of the SnapTrack to allow it to snap onto the DIN rail. So that's an accessory that's available with all of these devices, regardless of the size of the SnapTrack. Another question is, are custom ranges and calibrations available? Yeah, the answer is yes. For a product like the ARM that we had at the beginning of the presentation, that's the analog rescaling module. If you know which analog input and corresponding output you need, we'd be happy to set that up for you here at the factory. We typically charge a flat $10 fee per device to do that. And these devices aren't hard to set up or program or calibrate, but if it's something that you haven't done before, getting a hang of the dip switches and the turn pots can be a little challenge, and we're happy to do that for you. So it's something that could be a time saver as well. And as far as custom ranges, yes, those are available depending on the specific application that you would need. Another question is, why is the warranty different on these parts compared to your other products? Good question, and that is mainly due to the pneumatic nature of these devices. Many of the parts in this product line are pneumatic. So like this PXP here, it's got the dual valves, so there's actually moving parts. These are one of the few parts that we have that actually have moving parts. So the valves in here will wear out over time. They are rated for tens, if not hundreds of thousands of life cycles, so quality is not an issue with this, but we're not able to warranty this due to the warranty it for a full 5 years like we do for our temperature and humidity sensors, just due to the nature of it being a moving part that will wear out over time. Also, the pneumatic nature of it, there's air moving into these devices, so we never know what type of contaminants or dust or debris can get into the devices, and that can affect the operation as well. If there are any other questions that anybody would like to submit to for the webinar for answering, we will point out too that we do have the ability to do customized and personal webinars tailored specifically to you, your employees, your customers, your sales team, your engineers. So if that's something that you'd want to sit down with us, we can build a webinar to help train your employees, train your counter salespeople, train your engineers, help you to learn the part numbers and find product that is the best suited for your applications. So if you're interested in that, please reach out to any of the sales team or the marketing department, which you see the marketing's email address there. I'll point your attention again to our website. We are going to have continued product webinars. We're setting the dates for those going forward, so please stay tuned to the website and to our social media, where we will announce dates and topics for future webinars. And if there are additional questions or anything that specifically that hasn't been answered in today's webinar, please feel free to reach out either to me or to any of the sales engineers here at ACI. We're more than happy to help answer any questions at any time. With that, thanks for watching, and look forward to speaking with you soon. Have a great day.